Alright, so we're back in the Crimson Ghost mask room. Halloween just passed. It was awesome. Had a cool kids party down here. It was freaking great. They were going nuts. Anyway, tonight I'm doing a cool episode on something that has been one of my favorite toys of all time since I was a kid. The 1980 Remco monsters. So those of you that were around in the 80s will remember these tiny little monster figures, okay? They came with a cool little vinyl playset, like a little carrying case that opened, and it was a laboratory with a mummy's tomb. Frankenstein could go on this little table and swivel around. It was very simple, like a little vinyl carry case type deal, but it was so neat that everybody I know that's my age that was into this stuff, it's one of their favorite toys of all time. And these little Remco monsters, they're only like 3 inches or 3.5 inches tall, have become very, very collectible and very sought after, and the prices have been escalating higher and higher over the past, 10 or 12 years. So they made a lot of different variations, glow, not glow versions, different carded versions. But today, I'm going to talk about something new that came out regarding these that my friend Mark Enright has come up with. He is a very talented mask maker. He's been here to the mask room. He goes under the name MortarHeads on Instagram, and he makes some of the most unique masks you will ever see. And I'm going to explain what he is really into. He makes a lot of cool stuff, but he is a die-hard action figure fan from the 70s and 80s. He loved all the little figures, especially Kenner Star Wars figures. He came up with this genius idea of taking these little guys and making full-size head Halloween masks out of them. And every detail looks exactly like the little tiny heads on these figures. He started off doing Star Wars characters, and I kept looking like, those are freaking amazing. He was doing Walrus Man, Hammerhead. It looks like you plucked off the little Kenner head and have a big version sitting there. Shut up. So, really? So I started taking, a big interest in what he was doing. I'm like, I gotta get me one, at least the Hammerhead mask. That was my favorite Star Wars Kenner figure. One of the best was Hammerhead. Anyway, before you know it, shut up! So before you know it, Mark came up with the idea to do a set of Remco monster head masks. And I'm going to show you what they look like. First I'm going to show you the little play set. I'm going to pan out, and all the masks are going to be sitting there, and they're bad to the bone. So they were a big hit right away. A lot of people loved them, and I kept putting it off. I'm like, I got to get a set. I got to get a set of those. Never did for a while. And then later on, this company picked it up. I'm going to put the name of the company on the screen, and started reproducing them, like in kind of mass producing them in a way, but I think they're kind of limited. And they sold out. And once they sold out, I'm pretty sure they sold out, everybody started wanting these things. And now, I think the sets are like selling for double, maybe triple the price they were on that website. And I told Mark I still want to get his version when he still made these by hand, himself. But then when this company came out with them, they did a killer job recreating his paint schemes and everything, and the masks are beautiful. So even if I never find the old vintage sets from maybe a few years ago when he started the project, I've got the set that was produced by that company, and they're killer. And people are asking constantly if they can buy them. And I'm like, no, not for sale. So let's take a look at Get out of here! Get! So let's take a look at the Remco Monster playset, 1980. I have my original set I opened on Christmas Day. That's how much I love these things. I've kept the set all these years, and it's one of my favorite things. So check this out. So the cool thing about this thing is it folds up, you can carry it with you, take your monsters wherever you wanted. And I think the whole allure of this set to me as a kid was they were pretty much the size, oh my god, the size of Star Wars figures, you know, in the 70s and 80s. That 3.5-inch action figure size. And they were really detailed. Like, the Frankenstein looked amazing. Everything looked so cool. There was 2 different creatures. There was like this glow-in-the-dark version. It was kind of like a light green. Oh my god. Really? And then you had the darker version, like that. And I remember, get out of here. I remember playing with this in our swimming pool. I'd have the creature in there all the time, swimming around, and God, it was just one of my favorite things was this whole set. It had a door that opened. You got a little sticker sheet with this skull, and there was little stickers in here that glow in the dark. So it's like a little glow set. You turn the lights off, and little things would glow. But it's got cool details on the other side I'll show you. But I don't know what it was about this, but man, I kept it my whole life since 1980. And a lot of guys I know have bought them all over the years. They've collected all the carded figures. There's different card variations, you know, with the glow logo on it, or it's not, you know, present because it's not a glow-in-the-dark figure. But just some of the coolest monster toys there ever was. They, in my opinion, monster toys are either really cool or really lame. You know, and it really depends on the era they're from and who made them, what company made them. So, you know, Remco definitely made quality stuff. And we're going to get into Mark's masks now. And I'm going to compare each figure with its larger-than-life size mask, as you can see here. And they look great. The thing Mark is so into is really capturing the details that are on these little heads. So, you know, if one eye's bigger than the other, or one's painted, one's not, he has every little single detail in that mask. So as you can see behind it, there's the mummy head back there. And I am so glad I got my hands on these things because they're really tough to get now. You know, if they hit eBay, they're selling for way more money. And I still kick myself for not getting Mark's Star Wars masks. I need to get some of those too. But so we're going to go on to look at let's check out the Frankenstein. Take a good look at him first here. Probably can't focus too well with this GoPro, but those of you that know these figures will know that Mark's masks are they look just like the little toy. I mean, how cool is that? And for you Star Wars fans, you gotta see his Star Wars masks. The Walrus Man head looks like you plucked the Walrus Man, you know, toy figure head off and made a giant version of it. Just like the toy. One of the best, let's fix this little dude. One of the best is the Wolfman, by far. You know, he always had this weird look on his face. Like one eyeball was a little bigger than the other. You know, you can kind of see it on the figure. And Mark did a killer job emulating that in his sculpture, and especially his paint work. Just making it look like a giant version of that little toy head. Isn't that cool? Speaking of Star Wars, Mark made one of the Wolfman blanks look just like George Lucas, which is so damn funny. People said, hey, that looks like Lucas. And here you go. He made a copy look like old George. Phantom of the Opera. Here's the mini-me. And the full size. Got the shirt and tie, everything. Even part of the cape. So, I don't have a loose figure of this creature, but as you can see the head back there, I mean, that is it to a T. I hope you can see that clearly. It's got that just crude, you know, paint up that's on a tiny little thing like that, and it's totally enlarged, looking like that little toy. And they're nice. They're a nice thickness too. They're not like a cheapo, you know, mask. They're nice thickness. They're gonna last a long time. And they're just painted really nice, really vibrant colors on these things. And of course, the Dracula. One of the best things about these figures was the cards. And I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, the kids would throw the cards out. But look at that. That's got all the figures on the back. Just so cool. 1980 Remco toys. And so here we'll look at that head in that bubble. I have a loose one, but his paint's all scuffed up. Here you can see, you know, there he is. Larger than life sitting there. What, I mean, Mark, what a great idea. Nobody, I mean, nobody in the hobby was thinking of doing this kind of thing. I've never seen anybody. I've seen the AHI Frankenstein figures. Somebody did make a large mask head of that, and that was a very famous 60s or 70s Frankenstein doll. It had like cloth clothing on it. Real, all monster collectors will know those figures. That was the only time I've ever seen someone make a mask out of a toy's head. This, if you know, as much as I can remember at the moment, but this is just genius, man. And this makes me want to go and get all of those Star Wars masks. I'm going to show them in the video here shortly, because I'll show each one you've done and the quality of them, because you know, you got the paint down, everything. So like I was saying, you know, you can't buy these directly from Mark anymore. They had to be ordered from the company, and they're beautiful. If you're lucky, they'll pop up on eBay. I've seen a few sets. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more coming from Mark regarding action figure heads and masks. You know, producing those tiny little heads and the big masks. So you should follow him on Instagram, and he is so talented. His sculpting, his painting, he's a great guy. He's been here to the collection. I'll show you a picture. Great dude, mega talent with this guy, and I just have a feeling you're gonna like what you see. Lots of stuff to come down the road, I'm sure, and I hope you guys, you know, dig these. You monster collectors out there are definitely gonna love this, and I'm sure some of you, you know, that are watching this that aren't collectors of this stuff will remember these 1980 Remco monster sets, and you should think that's pretty cool, I'm sure. So, not to mention these figures. You may want to get into collecting these because they're getting more expensive by the minute, especially carded ones. So, but then you can't play with them. So anyway, this is just a quick video. Thanks, Mark, for all the stuff you do. Love it, and hopefully you'll be back at the collection at some point, and I want to see you at Mask Fest, and I need to get some of those Star Wars masks. So we'll see you around. Crimson Ghost Mask Room here, signing off, and more to come later.